Hello everyone, I'm Sweety and welcome to this channel. Today I'll be creating two very different window cards for you. These are very different from each other, so stay tuned. I'll be using this really pretty stamp set by Craftyscrappers called You and Me. This stamp set is perfect for Valentine's Day cards. It has a lot of cute sentiments as well as this really cute adorable kids images that you can use on any card. So what I've done is I've already stamped the image on a plain piece of paper, colored it, and then I've used the same die to cut a window on the first page of my card panel. So this is how I plan to place my image. This way, when you open the window, you can actually see that the image is on the second part of the card. So I am not one of those people who plans out everything in advance. So let's go with the flow here. I decided to stick my image down at the very beginning itself. Now at this point I realized, okay, the front panel looks really empty. So I'm going to use this really pretty specialty paper. It has gold foiling on it. And I'm going to try and place the die at the same place where the window is on my panel. This way I'll be able to align my pattern paper with the front panel of the card. So obviously if you're recreating the card, just do this step beforehand. Now let's glue down everything. So here is the most easiest way to create a trifold card. And I always like to spread out my glue using my fingers. This way I make sure that the edges are neat and there's no blob of glue anywhere. And it's more uniform. I have this really pretty green ribbon. Initially the plan was to put this ribbon just on the first panel. But whenever I would try sticking it down, it would fall off. Also, it just didn't look so complete. So what I decided to do was I created this perfect bow by tying it with golden thread also, just to go along with the golden on my pattern paper. Once this was done, don't forget to tie it up completely. So once this is done, I realized that maybe I did not like it so much, just the lonely bow there. So you'll see what I do there to make it more perfect. In this card, there are just so many lessons to learn from my experience. After a good round of trying to get that bow to stand there, to stay there, I decided to put some white dots on the girl's skirt and on the boy also, so that it looks more cute. I actually got this idea from Konika's card that she gave in my DT kit. It was so super cute, and that video will also come soon. Next, I decided to get some golden on the inside panel also, because when you open the card, there should be some continuity within the card itself. The first layer has gold, but then the second layer is just so bland comparatively. So here I'm using my Posca marker. This is the gold acrylic marker, and I'm just going to use this gold color all around the edges of this circle. See, if I had not pasted this panel itself, I would have gotten a neater circle, but then this also looks pretty. And once I'd done this, now this white stood bright against the rest of the creamish color of white. So here I am giving some floor to these kids to stand on so that they don't look like as if they're floating. So this is how you actually try and bring a card together, by making the images work with each other by using the same color. So I've done that, and now the space between this cute boy and this cute girl, I can actually place my image, my sentiment there. I really wanted to use red, but watercolor dries very slowly. So I have the sky blue color in Archival, but then somehow I just didn't like the overall feel, and it didn't go with any of the colors I had on my card. So I ended up using red only, and I think that was a good choice. Now, the second page should not be this bland either. So let's do some more stamping or coloring. And here I am with one of my most favorite stamps by Craftyscrappers. This has a lot of leafy images. This is a hello stamp set. And I will link to one of the previous cards that I made using this stamp set and that turned out beautifully. I encourage you to check out that video also. So I'm using some golden color ink just to stamp some random images from this stamp set. This way I am creating my own pattern paper, and that I am just trying to fill up the page randomly. There is no pattern to it except the fact that I'm trying to balance the images all around the page. I really have to apologize for the shaky camera. I usually record using my iPhone, but then I have some trouble with going on with that, and really had no experience working with this Android phone I got, so there is a lot of autofocus going on there. I hope I avoid that in my next upcoming videos. Anyways, back to the card. I am going to finish it off with some polka dots with my acrylic marker. This way everything just comes together. There is really bright gold on the front of the card. Now there is some bright gold on the second panel also. Now the only thing left to do is to decorate the inside. So let's just do some small stamping there also. So as you can see, the stamp set has images that you can combine together and create your own sentiments. So this will go not only for Valentine's Day card but also any other occasion for love. So I now have to finish my card, and I'm back to square one where the front panel looked really incomplete. So I decided to glue some ribbon, and so here at this point I realized, okay, the Fevicol is making it look so uh, weird. So I decided to use some tacky tape. This is a very strong adhesive and it holds paper and cloth well together, but you have to be really careful because once this tape is placed, you cannot help it. You cannot adjust it in any way. So here I am. The ribbon on the front looks weird. So let's figure out a way to even rectify that. And for that I chose to use a thinner piece of ribbon, brown ribbon, and that will complete my card. You can check out the photos of this card on your screen as well as on my blog, where I have a lot more detail on coloring and a lot of tips. Now let's move on to my second card for the day. In this card, I wanted to keep the coloring very simple. For this, I just blended some distress oxide with an orange ink that I already had lying around. I don't have orange in distress oxide, and I have noticed that distress oxides do not have a problem blending with other colors. It's just that you cannot use the technique of lifting inks so well if you use any other color, any other ink. So here I am lifting off some of the splatters that I just made, and I'm going to stamp this really cute couple. I would like to call this technique of card making as the lazy way, because this is a slightly complicated image, and if you enjoy coloring, this is such a cute and superb image to color. You can color the pleats on the skirt of the girl so well. The rose is so beautiful. But some days you just want to finish a card or make a quick card. this is one of those cards, and this is a fun but a quick card. And the advantage of using a stamp positioner like this to stamp an image is that you can always restamp the image if it's not done well at once. Once I'm done with the stamping, I am going to place it on a different panel. So the panel that you see here, I created it using some dazzle paste on a pattern paper, but then the contrast wasn't so great, and I wanted the image, the focal image, to stand out. So I'm trying to figure out which pattern paper looks best, and this floral paper definitely adds the makes the image look more like a focal point. So here I am, and I'm not going to repeat the mistake that I made in card 1. I'm going to cut out the pattern paper and the front page of my card together. This way I will not need to align them later on. So I simply place the the die on the pattern paper, decide where it should go, and I'm going to run all 3 of these things together. So quickly I'm going to assemble my card. You can choose a more elegant paper, but I wanted to keep this one a little more funky or a little more vintage. So it really depends on the pattern paper you choose that how this card will turn out. I am just going to cut off the excess. The paper is slightly larger than 6 by 6. Now let's just place the image inside the window. This way you can see the card coming together. Now it's time to add some embellishments because it's just very simple, and I like to add some bling and some sparkle. But first, sentiment. So here is the sentiment, and I'm going to keep the colors very simple on this one. I'm going to use the same Distress Oxide ink that we used on the background. Distress Oxide inks are really great for stamping, and the image, the font in this stamp set looks really nice, and it's so different from your usual stamp set where calligraphy is there. For the flowers, I decided to use some handmade flowers I had in my stash forever, and this way I will have some dimension on my card also. So adding these will finish off my card. And you can stop right there because the card is almost always done, but I really can't get over details. So I decided to use some bling. These are sequins by Craftyscrappers, and they are available at such cheap prices. I would say grab them right now. It has a lot of colors, a lot of shades of pink in a way. So this makes my life much easier. Initially, I planned to use just 3, but they looked so pretty. I decided to use a lot of them to make it look like a pink starry sky. And this wasn't enough. So I think the couple doesn't stand out enough. So I took some acrylic paint in gold, and I'm going to color the images completely with gold. So if you thin down the acrylic paint enough, the stamped image will show through, and it won't overpower your stamping. That is what I'm trying to do in my stamping here. Anyways, I hope you like how these cards turned out, and it was fun for you to watch. I hope you got inspired, and if you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.